I'm about to explain what the passive voice is in the simple past. All right, so in your notebooks, I want you to write this at the top. The passive voice in the simple past. Or some people call it the simple past passive. And it's honestly much easier that way, simple past passive. So please write that at the top of your page in your notebook. All right, so before we begin, there are a couple of things that you need to know. The first thing that you need to know is what the verb be is in the past. So what is the verb be in the past? It has two forms in the past. They start with W.
Was and were.
Was and were. Thank you, Adriana. Was and were. Cool. And the other thing you need to know is some verbs in the past participle form. All right. For example, eat in the present or in the base form, ate in the past form, and eaten in the past participle form. Okay. Eat, ate, eaten. Those are like, well, that is like one of the most common verbs in English. Everybody eats. The same thing as drink. Drink, drank. And what is the past participle of drink? Drink, drank.
Drunk.
Drunk. Good job. All right, and here are some more common ones. Find, found, found, steal, which is robar, steal, stole, stolen. And let's see, another common one that we're gonna see today. All right. See, saw, and what is the past participle of see?
Seen.
Seen. All right, and of course, there are many other verbs, but we're just gonna start with these 5 verbs. Okay, first, I'm gonna give you a normal sentence, a sentence that you have probably seen before in the past. Or at least something similar to it. Someone ate the cake. Someone ate the cake. Now, I think everybody here understands this sentence. Someone is one person, not a specific person. Ate is eat in the past, and cake is a dessert. But I have a few questions for you. In this sentence right here, what is the subject?
Someone.
Someone. What is the verb?
Ate.
Ate. And what is the object?
Cake.
The cake. All right, good. You know all of the different parts of speech. Subject, verb, object. Cool. Now, this is my next question. And this one is probably a hard question. Is the subject active or passive? Is the subject active or passive? What that means is the subject, well, Did the subject do something or not? So how about this? I'm going to ask you this question. Did the subject do something? ¿El sujeto hizo algo? Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes, right? Yes. Did the subject do something? Yes, he or she ate the cake. So whenever the subject is active or whenever the subject does or is doing or did or will do something, the sentence is active. Let me explain that a little bit in Spanish. Cuando el sujeto es activo, o sea, cuando el sujeto hace algo, está haciendo algo, hizo algo o hará algo, entonces la oración es activa. Sujeto activo, oración activa. Okay, that's all it is. So in this case, the subject is someone and someone did something. They ate the cake. It is an active sentence. So let me write that at the top. This is an active sentence. Why is it active? Because the subject is active. Okay. I'm going to ask you that question with other examples. Why is the sentence active? Because the subject is active. That simple. The subject does something. The subject did something. All right. Please write everything in black in your notebook. And when you are ready, let me know so we can continue. All right. Thank you for writing it in your notebook. Now, I want you to look at this. I want you to look at this sentence that I'm about to write. For right now, don't write anything. Just listen and pay attention. The cake was eaten. Okay, and I put an exclamation point because maybe it was a special cake. Maybe nobody was supposed to eat the cake, but they did. The cake was eaten. Se comieron el pastel. The cake was eaten. Now, in this sentence, what is the subject?
The cake.
The cake. Thank you, Adri. And what is the verb? Two parts.
Eaten.
Two parts.
Was eaten.
Was eaten. Good. And is there an object? Yes or no?
No.
No, there is no object. Remember, an object is the person or thing that goes after the verb, that receives the action. But in this sentence, the cake was eaten. There is nothing after was eaten. Nothing receives the action. All right, cool. Now, this is my next question. Is the subject active or passive? I'm going to ask you the same question. Did the subject do something? Yes or no?
No.
No, it's a cake. It's not alive. It cannot do anything. So no, the subject didn't do anything. All right, so let me explain this. Whenever the subject is passive, or whenever the subject doesn't do, isn't doing, didn't do, or won't do something, the sentence is passive. Let me explain it to you in Spanish. Cuando el sujeto es pasivo o cuando el sujeto no hace nada, no está haciendo nada, no hizo nada o no hará nada, la oración es pasiva. All right. So this sentence, the cake was eaten, this is a passive sentence. This is a passive sentence. Now, what is the point of the passive voice? ¿Cuál es el punto de la voz pasiva? Well, there are like 4 different things or 4 different reasons that you can use the passive voice. I'm going to tell you 2. Number 1, when the doer is not important. Here, oh, sorry. Use the passive voice when, number 1, the doer is not important. Cuando digo doer, let me write it over here in red. The doer is the active subject. Okay? Es como un apodo, es a nickname, the doer. La persona o la cosa que hace, you know, hacer, do. Persona que hace, doer. All right, so when the doer is not important, okay? En este caso, someone, pues ni sabemos quién es, así que no es importante. Dijimos, alguien se comió el pastel. Y pues alguien ni tuvimos la amabilidad, no sé cómo se dice esa palabra, ni tuvimos la amabilidad de decirle o ponerle nombre a la persona, así que no es importante. Además, si digo the cake was eaten, no nos importa la persona, nos importa el pastel. And that's another reason. When we want to use the passive voice when you want to focus on the receiver or the object of a verb. Okay. Usa la voz pasiva cuando quieres enfocarte en lo que recibe la acción o el objeto del verbo. ¿Ok? Así que el pastel es lo que recibe la acción porque alguien se lo comió. Y la voz pasiva hace que nos enfoquemos en el pastel. ¿Por qué nos enfocamos en el pastel? Bueno, porque lo ponemos al inicio de la oración. Y cualquier cosa que vaya al inicio de la oración, pues es lo que le da más importancia, ¿no? Porque cuando tú le mencionas algo a alguien, lo primero que escucha es la primera palabra. ¿Ok? O las primeras palabras, y eso es lo que pues te agarra la atención o no te agarra la atención. ¿Ok? La primera palabra es la más importante. O las primeras palabras son las más importantes. Son las que en las que uno se enfoca. ¿Ok? En la voz activa nos enfocamos en someone. En la voz pasiva nos enfocamos en the cake. Y hay muchas otras razones por usar la voz pasiva, pero por el momento solo hay que enfocarnos en estas cosas. Cuando la persona que hace la acción o cuando la cosa que hace la acción no es importante y cuando nos queremos enfocar más en el objeto, en lo que recibe y no en lo que hace. The cake was eaten. Okay, please copy this and I will explain more things when you're finished. When you're ready, please write ready in the chat. All right, thank you for writing it down. There's another term that I want you to learn. You know, on number 2, I wrote, you want to focus on the receiver. The receiver. Now, when I say the receiver, I mean the active object or passive subject? And I know that's kind of crazy, like what? The receiver is the active subject or passive, sorry, the receiver is the active object or passive subject? What? Well, yeah. Let me explain. First, the active object, okay? Here in the active sentence, the object is the cake. And the passive subject here in the passive voice, well, it's the cake. So it's the same, you know, the receiver is the same. But in the active voice, it is the object. In the passive voice, it is the subject. But it's always the receiver. Siempre es lo que recibe. Porque en la primera oración, alguien se lo comió. Y en la segunda oración, se lo comieron. O sea, siempre recibe la acción. That's why it's called the receiver. You know, receive, person who receives or thing that receives, receiver. Is that clear?
Yes.
It's just a name. It's just a name. And the reason why that name is important is because of the formula. And this is the formula for simple past passive sentences. This is the formula. The first thing, the first thing is the receiver, right? It's the receiver, and which in this case is the cake. And then you're going to use was or were because it's the past. And the past of be is was or were. And then you're going to use the past participle form of the verb. Okay, not eat, not ate, eaten, drunk, found, stolen, seen. And that's all. Okay, so please go ahead, take 30 seconds to write what the definition of a receiver is and the formula. All right, ladies. Now this next activity might be a little hard, but let's see how you manage. I'm gonna give you an active sentence and I want you to transform it to the passive voice. All right, let's see. They found 2 phones on the bus. They found 2 phones on the bus. This is active. How can I make this passive? How do I start the sentence?
2 phones were found.
2 phones were found on the bus. Wow, I asked you how do you start the sentence and you gave me the complete sentence. Perfect. All right, so it's pretty easy. Now, in real life, nobody's gonna tell you, hey, you transform this sentence. Nobody's gonna tell you that in real life. But, you know, for us to practice, it's kind of important. So what happens is we take 2 phones and we put it at the beginning of the sentence because, well, that's what you do. You know, the sentence starts with the receiver. Okay, cool. You did it. Then you're going to use was or were. 2 phones is plural, so we use were. And then the past participle form is found. Found in the simple past, found in the past participle form. And then the complement, you know, on the bus. So excellent job. Thank you. I think that was Paola. Good job, Paola. Let me give you another sentence. Someone saw a shark in the lake. Alguien vio un tiburón en el lago. Someone saw a shark on the lake. This is obviously active. How can I make this passive? How do I begin the sentence?
Saw
No, first you put the receiver.
Shark.
A shark, right? A shark. So a shark was or were?
Was.
Was. And then the past participle form? What is the past participle form of saw? Seen. Yeah, a shark was seen in the lake. So they kind of mean the same thing. You know, someone saw a shark in the lake, a shark was seen in the lake. But in the first sentence, you know, we put a lot of focus on someone. And the second sentence, we put more focus on the shark. And that's the purpose of the passive voice. Well, that's one of the purposes. All right. Another example, or are you ready for the exercise? Are you ready? Another one, another one. Of course, of course. My pleasure, my pleasure. Another one. People drank water from rivers in the past. People drank water from rivers in the past. This is active. How do I make it passive? What is the receiver of the action?
The water.
Water, right? So water was or
drunk
were?
rivers.
Was drunk from rivers in the past. La gente tomaba agua de los ríos en el pasado. Se tomaba agua de los ríos en el pasado. Easy. Now, what happens? En la voz pasiva eliminamos lo que originalmente era el sujeto. ¿Ok? Porque, uno, nos enfocamos en el objeto y dos, en la voz pasiva no puede haber un objeto, o sea, no puede haber algo después del verbo. Así que lo borramos. Borramos they, borramos someone, borramos people. Porque no son importantes. Si fueran importantes, tuviera nombre. They es pronombre, someone, pronombre, y people en general is not important. It's not important. It's not important. All right. Now, let's do this exercise. Well, we're going to just do number one because we don't have much time. Okay. Now, the only thing you're going to do is complete the sentences using the simple past passive. All right, so was or were and the verb in the past participle form. All right. Adriana, can you read the first sentence in number one, please?
A 5-pound bear was found asleep in a basement on Thursday morning. The bear
Hold
woke
on,
up.
just the first sentence, just the first sentence. Thank you. All right, good job, was found. Jasmine, the next sentence. The bear.
The bear was woke up.
Woken. Woken, okay? Please read it until the period. The bear. Jasmine. Jasmine. Read it. Okay. Marifer, can you read what Jasmine was supposed to read? The bear was. Oh, they disconnected.
The bear was woken up
Mhm.
by a workman who say he faked when he realized it was a bear. Well, the officer caught or were caught, I don't know, and the bear
Wild officers, what?
were
Were what?
caught.
Called. Good.
The bear were no was to took to a state park.
What is the past participle of take?
Took
Take, took, huh?
taken.
Taken. All right. Good. And repeat after me, everybody. Bear.
Bear.
Yeah, bear. Because if you say beer, that is cerveza. This is bear. Bear. Como cabello, hair, bear. Twins and Adriana, repeat after me. Bear.
Bear.
All right. And Paola, the last thing I want you to do is just read number 1 completely.
A 500-pound bear was found asleep in a passage on Tuesday morning. The bear was woken up by a workman who said he faked when he realized it was a bear. Wildlife officers were called and the bear was taken to a state park.
Perfect, perfect. That's crazy to find a bear in your basement. Ridiculous. But okay, ladies. For today, we are finished. Excellent job. You understood the assignment. And well, on tomorrow, we're going to finish 2, 3, and 4. And we're going to personalize this a little bit more. We're going to talk about things that happen in our neighborhood, in our city, or things that happened in our city, in our neighborhood. Okay, do you have any questions?
No.
Okay, well then, I will see you tomorrow. Have a good day. Thanks for coming to the class.
See you. Take a flag that.
See you.
See
Take care.
you.